Welcome, dear listener, to American Life Unfolded. Before we begin our long and peaceful journey, I invite you to subscribe to this channel and give this video a like. By doing so, you help us create more calming stories and timeless journeys from history. So, sit back, relax, and let your imagination drift across the ocean waves. Close your eyes and let us step back in time to the year 1620. The world was quieter then, with no hum of machines, no distant city lights, just the sound of nature, the call of seabirds, and the whisper of the wind across the Atlantic Ocean. Before us lies a ship, the Mayflower. Weathered wood creaks gently as it floats on the open sea. It is not a grand vessel, but it is strong, carrying a group of hopeful souls. They are called the Pilgrims, seekers of freedom, carrying dreams of a new life in an unknown world. The air is cool, carrying the salt of the ocean. The sails billow softly in the breeze, their white cloth glowing faintly under the pale autumn sky. Waves lap against the hull in a steady rhythm like the heartbeat of the voyage itself. On deck, a few figures move slowly, wrapped in woolen cloaks. Some stand at the railing, gazing at the endless horizon. Others sit quietly, whispering prayers or holding on to a loved one's hand. There is a hush about them, not of fear, but of deep reflection. Imagine yourself there, among them, feeling the gentle sway of the ship beneath your feet. The voyage is long, uncertain, but filled with hope. For the next hours, we will sail with them, in silence and in story. A quiet voyage on the Mayflower. As the Mayflower drifts further from the shores of England, life aboard the ship settles into a quiet rhythm. The Pilgrims are adjusting to their new, confined world. Every sound seems amplified in the wooden corridors, the soft shuffle of boots on the deck, the murmur of hushed conversations, the clink of a simple meal being prepared below. Some passengers sit quietly, staring at the endless expanse of water. Their minds wander to the homes they left behind, the fields they tilled, the familiar streets that will never look the same again. Others hold journals, noting the daily happenings of the voyage, the swell of the sea, the subtle change of wind, the patterns of clouds across the sky. Below deck, the air is damp but alive with purpose. Children sit close to their mothers, learning patience and calm in the confined space. Men and women speak in whispers, sharing stories, prayers, and the occasional soft laughter. Though cramped, the ship is a small world of its own, a floating village bound together by hope and determination. The ocean's rhythm. Outside, the ocean continues its endless dance. The waves rise and fall in gentle crescendos, carrying the Mayflower steadily forward. Sometimes the water is so still that it mirrors the sky, creating a sense of infinite space. Other times, a soft wind picks up, teasing the sails and filling the air with the scent of salt and possibility. The sound of the sea becomes a meditation. Each wave, each gust of wind is a reminder of the vast world that awaits them. A new land, full of promise, yet unknown and mysterious. Passengers often stand silently, letting the rhythm of the ocean speak to them. For many, it is both a comfort and a gentle reminder of the courage required to leave everything familiar behind. Quiet moments of reflection. Evenings are serene as the sun slowly sinks into the horizon. Shadows stretch across the deck, and the sky transforms into soft shades of orange, pink, and violet. The Pilgrims gather where they can, some kneeling in prayer, others simply observing the quiet majesty of nature. In these moments, the noise of the old world feels distant, Each person carries their own thoughts, their own dreams, yet they share a collective journey. The sea is patient, the Mayflower is steady, and time seems to stretch, measured only by the rising and falling of the tide and the turning of the stars above. A new day dawns over the Atlantic. The first light of morning gently brushes the deck, casting a pale golden glow across the weathered wood. The sea is calm, and the air carries a subtle chill, hinting at the approaching autumn. The pilgrims rise slowly, stretching limbs stiff from the previous day's movements. Small routines begin to form. The brewing of warm water for tea or porridge, the tending of simple chores, the quiet organizing of their modest belongings. Life aboard the ship is simple, yet every task carries weight. The rolling motion of the vessel makes even small movements a careful act. Passengers steady themselves, gripping railings, pausing at doorways, learning to move with the rhythm of the sea rather than against it. Even in these ordinary moments, there is a sense of camaraderie. People share soft words of encouragement, a gentle smile, a reassuring nod, small gestures that keep spirits afloat during the long days ahead. The stories they carry. Each person on board carries their own story, memories of places they left behind, and hopes for the life that awaits them. Some think of their families, separated by distance, wondering if they will ever meet again. Others recall quiet fields, church bells, or familiar streets, fragments of a life now behind them. There are tales shared in whispers, of children's laughter echoing through small villages, of harvests, of journeys taken to reach this point. These stories are comforting, a reminder of the world they come from and the resilience they carry with them. As the ship moves steadily forward, the pilgrims' conversations blend with the constant rhythm of the ocean. Their words float into the sea breeze, brief notes of humanity carried across the vast waters, contemplation and connection. Some prefer silence. Standing at the railing, they watch the horizon stretch endlessly before them. Their minds drift, imagining the land they have yet to see. The waves, the sky, and the endless blue all speak in their own language, a quiet companionship for those who listen. The Mayflower is more than wood and sail. It is a vessel of connection, of hope, of patience. Each creak and sway reminds them of the journey they have undertaken, the unknown ahead, and the courage it takes to keep moving forward. As the voyage continues, the vastness of the Atlantic begins to test the patience and resilience of everyone on board. The waves are sometimes calm, almost hypnotic, yet at other moments they rise and fall with sudden intensity. A brisk wind may rock the ship gently or toss it with a reminder of nature's power. The pilgrims learn quickly to adapt. Hands grasp railings, feet find careful balance, and eyes scan the horizon for signs of weather. Every challenge is met with quiet determination. Even small seasickness or discomfort becomes part of the rhythm, as passengers accept the ocean's sway as a constant companion. Amid the uncertainty, there is a sense of shared purpose. Each person understands that they are not alone. They are voyagers bound together by hope, courage, and the dream of reaching a new land. Every whispered word, every small act of kindness strengthens the invisible bond connecting them. In the confined space of the ship, bonds form naturally. People learn each other's habits, share stories, and offer gentle reassurances. A shared meal becomes more than nourishment. It is comfort, routine, and connection. Some passengers play soft, makeshift games, or recite poetry to lift spirits. Others engage in quiet conversation, exploring ideas and dreams. These moments of interaction create a sense of community, turning a simple ship into a home afloat on an endless sea. Even strangers begin to recognize familiar faces and voices, finding comfort in the continuity of companionship. The Mayflower is no longer just a vessel. It is a shared world where humanity persists, despite the vast isolation surrounding them. As evening falls, the sky deepens into shades of indigo and violet. The sun's final light fades behind the horizon, and the first stars begin to appear. Silence blankets the deck, broken only by the gentle splash of waves against the hull. Passengers pause in reflection, their thoughts drifting freely like the stars above. Memories of home, hopes for the future, and the vast unknown ahead mingle in quiet contemplation. The Mayflower continues steadily on its path, a patient guide through the open waters. It is in these moments, between the challenges, the laughter, and the whispers, that the true journey reveals itself. Not only a voyage across the ocean, but a passage of the heart and spirit, shared quietly by all on board. As the days blend together, life aboard the Mayflower settles into a slow, steady rhythm. Each morning begins with the soft light of dawn filtering through the sails, casting long shadows across the deck. Passengers rise quietly, careful not to disturb the fragile peace of the ship. Small tasks fill the hours, securing ropes, checking provisions, tending to the children, and maintaining the ship's cleanliness. Every action, though ordinary, carries the weight of necessity. Even in the monotony, there is a comforting structure, a sense of order amid the vast unpredictability of the sea. Meals are simple but meaningful. Bread, cheese, and occasionally fresh fish, shared among families and friends, provide sustenance and connection. Conversations are hushed, but laughter occasionally pierces the calm, a reminder that even in confined spaces, joy finds a way. Some passengers start the day with silent prayers, their voices soft and meditative, blending with the gentle rhythm of the waves. Others take a moment at the railing, letting the wind and sea air clear their minds, imagining the distant shores they hope to see. Children learn patience in their small world, playing quietly, listening to whispered stories from parents or older siblings. The adults, too, find solace in small routines, writing letters, reading scriptures, or quietly observing the horizon. These simple rituals anchor them, giving a sense of stability and calm amidst the journey. Life on the Mayflower fosters connections in unexpected ways. People share memories of home, discuss hopes for the new land, and quietly support each other through discomfort and uncertainty. The gentle hum of the ship, the constant motion of the sea, and the shared experience of the voyage bind them together in a subtle but powerful way. Even silence becomes a companion. Standing at the railing, listening to the soft splash of waves, passengers feel a shared peace, a collective understanding that they are part of something larger than themselves, a journey both physical and spiritual. As evening falls, the sky transforms into a deep canvas of blues and purples. The first stars begin to twinkle, mirrored faintly by the gentle shimmer of the ocean. The Mayflower continues on, steady and patient, carrying its passengers forward through the unknown. In this calm, they find reflection, resilience, and a quiet joy in being part of a shared journey, a journey not only across the sea, but into the hearts and minds of all who sail together. As the voyage stretches onward, the weather begins to shift subtly. Clouds drift across the sky, sometimes light and wispy, other times darker, hinting at changes ahead. The sea remains mostly calm, yet the pilgrims have learned to watch carefully. Every breeze and wave a quiet message from nature. The sails catch the wind differently each day, fluttering softly or stretching taut as the currents guide the ship. The rhythm of the waves changes imperceptibly, reminding everyone aboard that the ocean is alive and ever-changing. The passengers observe in silence, learning patience and awareness. Even small movements, adjusting a sail, checking a rope, or simply shifting position on deck, require mindfulness. In these moments, life feels fragile and precious, a delicate balance between human effort and the forces of the natural world. Embracing the unknown with each passing hour, the pilgrims grow more attuned to the ocean's language. They read the sky, listen to the water, and feel the subtle changes in wind and tide. There is a quiet acceptance in this, an understanding that some things cannot be controlled, only respected. Children notice these changes with wide-eyed curiosity, learning from the older passengers. Families huddle together during breezes, sharing warmth and stories, while others stand alone, contemplating the vast open waters. The unknown is not frightening here. It is a companion, a gentle teacher of patience and resilience. Moments of reflection. As evening approaches, the sun dips low, casting a warm glow that fades slowly into twilight. The horizon becomes a muted line between water and sky, a reminder of the distance yet to be traveled. The passengers pause, reflecting on their journey so far. The calm, the challenges, and the quiet triumphs of daily life at sea. Even in the vastness of the Atlantic, there is a sense of connection. Each creak of the ship, each wave that laps against the hull, becomes a rhythm shared by all on board. The Mayflower moves steadily forward, carrying not only hopes of a new land, but also the growing resilience and unity of those aboard. As the Mayflower glides steadily across the Atlantic, the passengers begin to notice the subtle signs of life around them. Occasionally, a pod of dolphins surfaces alongside the ship, their smooth bodies slicing gracefully through the water. Children point with delight, and even the adults can't help but pause in quiet awe. Seabirds circle overhead, their wings catching the sunlight as they glide effortlessly above the waves. Sometimes, a solitary gull lands briefly on the deck, watching curiously before taking flight again. These small encounters with nature bring comfort, reminders that life continues even in the most remote stretches of the ocean. Passengers spend moments simply watching the water, noticing patterns in the waves, the flicker of sunlight on the surface, and the occasional splash of a fish breaking the calm. Each movement is a quiet spectacle, a connection to the living world surrounding the ship. There is a rhythm to these observations, a gentle meditation that allows minds to wander and hearts to settle. For some, it evokes memories of home. For others, it sparks wonder about the land they have yet to reach. The vast sea, though endless, feels alive and attentive, a silent companion on this long journey. As the sun begins to sink toward the horizon, the sky softens into shades of rose, lavender, and pale gold. Passengers gather at the railing, leaning quietly, watching the interplay of light and water. Conversations are few, replaced by a shared sense of calm and appreciation. The Mayflower continues its steady passage, each wave carrying the ship closer to the unknown shores that lie ahead. And in this moment, amidst the gentle rocking and the soothing sounds of the sea, the passengers find a rare serenity, a quiet voyage in every sense of the word. Days pass quietly, and the vast ocean continues its slow rhythm. Yet, occasionally, the passengers catch distant hints of change on the horizon. A faint line of darker color stretches where the sky meets the sea, a subtle promise of land yet unseen. Excitement stirs quietly among the pilgrims. Eyes narrow to scan the horizon, and whispered conversations ripple through the deck. What might lie ahead? Forests, rivers, and hills? Or perhaps sandy shores awaiting the first footsteps of these brave voyagers? The possibilities fill their hearts with a mixture of anticipation and reverence. Even as hope rises, the calm of the ocean persists. The gentle sway of the ship reminds everyone that the journey is far from over. Patience is still required, for the ocean moves at its own pace, carrying them steadily toward the unknown. Passengers feel a deeper connection to the voyage now. Each wave, each gust of wind, each glimmer of sunlight reflecting off the water becomes a companion in this silent vigil. They are part of a living story, unfolding slowly beneath their feet, around them, and beyond the horizon. Families gather on deck, sharing soft words and gentle smiles. Some point toward the distant line on the horizon, imagining what it might reveal. Children, sensing the subtle shift in energy, press close to their parents, their eyes wide with curiosity and wonder. Even the crew, experienced and calm, sense the subtle change in mood. The routine of the ship continues, but now there is an undercurrent of quiet anticipation. The Mayflower, steadfast and patient, carries everyone forward, bridging the gap between the familiar world left behind and the new life that awaits ahead. As the Mayflower sails onward, the faint line on the horizon grows more distinct. Passengers begin to sense that their long journey is approaching a new chapter. Quiet conversations ripple across the deck. Speculation about the land ahead, hopes for a safe arrival, and reflections on the months they have endured at sea. Families gather belongings, carefully securing what they can. Items that have traveled across the ocean, journals, simple tools, and cherished keepsakes, are held close, reminders of the past even as they step toward the future. The crew works quietly yet efficiently, checking ropes, adjusting sails, and scanning the horizon for changes in the water and sky. Their calm presence reassures the passengers, a steady anchor in this final stretch of the voyage. Each person aboard feels the mix of excitement and nervousness. The vast ocean, once an endless companion, now seems to shrink as land approaches. Thoughts drift to the unknown, the forests, rivers, and shores that will greet them, and the challenges that lie ahead. The rhythm of the waves continues, a constant heartbeat beneath their feet. Yet, amidst the gentle motion, the passengers notice small details, the way sunlight dances across the water, the patterns of birds flying overhead, the whisper of wind through the rigging. Each moment becomes precious, a quiet meditation as they prepare to disembark. In this time of anticipation, the sense of connection among passengers deepens. Families hold hands, friends exchange reassuring words, and even strangers share quiet smiles. The Mayflower, sturdy and patient, has carried them through months of uncertainty, and now, as the shoreline draws near, it stands as a symbol of perseverance and hope. Evening descends softly, and the horizon glows faintly in shades of gold and amber. The ship rocks gently, the waves whisper against the hull, and the pilgrims find a calm focus, a quiet readiness for the next steps of their journey, both on land and in life. As the Mayflower continues its steady course, the horizon gradually shifts. Shapes begin to form, subtle at first. A line of trees, a hint of hills, the soft curve of a distant shore. Passengers lean over the railing, squinting in quiet anticipation, their hearts stirring with a mix of awe and relief. The months of ocean travel have prepared them for this moment, yet the sight of land brings emotions to the surface. Some whisper prayers of gratitude, others share soft smiles, while a few stand in thoughtful silence, absorbing the vastness and beauty of the world before them. There is a shared sense of wonder aboard the ship. For many, this is not just land, it is a symbol of hope, freedom, and a fresh beginning. Families hold each other close, children gaze wide-eyed, and even the most reserved passengers feel a quiet thrill of excitement. The sea, which has been both companion and challenge, now feels like a bridge. Each gentle wave brings them closer to new opportunities, new lives, and the unknown adventures that await beyond the shoreline. Passengers reflect on the journey that brought them here, every hardship endured, every day spent in patience and quiet routine has led to this moment. They have grown closer to one another, forming bonds strengthened by shared experience and silent understanding. As the sun begins to dip toward the horizon, casting warm hues across the water, the Mayflower continues forward. The gentle rocking of the ship and the soft calls of seabirds create a meditative harmony, a quiet symphony, celebrating the end of one chapter and the anticipation of the next. As the Mayflower draws closer to the shoreline, activity on deck increases ever so slightly. The crew works with quiet efficiency, adjusting ropes, checking the sails, and readying the ship for its first approach to land. Every movement is careful, deliberate, as they anticipate the delicate transition from open sea to shore. Passengers begin to gather their belongings, securing small items and holding on to cherished keepsakes. The soft rustle of cloth and quiet footsteps mingle with the rhythmic splash of waves against the hull. There is a shared sense of readiness, a calm alertness that accompanies the final moments before setting foot on new land. The pilgrims pause frequently, glancing toward the distant trees and the rising contours of hills. There is a quiet murmur among families and friends, whispers of speculation about the land's features, the forests, the rivers, and the possibility of a safe place to settle. Children cling gently to their parents, sensing the significance of the moment. Even in their silence, they are aware that the journey they have taken, the long months on the ocean, the shared challenges, and the quiet bonds formed aboard the Mayflower, is leading to something profoundly new. Standing on deck, passengers look back over the ocean they have crossed, remembering the countless waves, the calm nights, and the moments of contemplation that marked their voyage. They carry a deep appreciation for the journey itself, understanding that it has transformed them, teaching patience, resilience, and hope. The Mayflower, sturdy and unwavering, continues forward, bridging the distance between past and future, between ocean and land. The passengers feel the gentle rhythm beneath their feet, a heartbeat connecting them to the ship, the sea, and each other. As the Mayflower nears the shore, the gentle sway of the ship carries a heightened sense of anticipation. The water becomes shallower, and the distant shoreline grows clearer. Trees, rocks, and soft sandy stretches emerge from the horizon. Passengers pause to take it all in, holding quiet conversations, sharing soft smiles, and sometimes simply standing in silence, letting the enormity of the moment sink in. The long months at sea have prepared them for this, yet nothing compares to seeing the land they will soon call home. Preparations for landing. The crew moves efficiently, lowering ropes, readying small boats, and ensuring every step toward land is as smooth as possible. Passengers gather their belongings, double-checking the few possessions they can carry and steadying themselves against the gentle rocking of the ship. Families huddle close, offering each other encouragement. Children look to the adults for guidance, sensing both excitement and nervousness. The atmosphere is calm, yet filled with quiet energy. The anticipation of first footsteps on the new shore. Reflection and gratitude. Many passengers bow their heads in silent prayer or contemplation, reflecting on the journey that brought them here. The ocean behind them tells a story of perseverance, courage, and resilience. Every wave, every gust of wind, every day spent aboard has led to this defining moment. The Mayflower, faithful and patient, carries them steadily forward. The passengers breathe in the crisp sea air, feeling the connection between past struggles and future hopes. They are ready, in body and spirit, for the next chapter of their lives. Finally, the Mayflower reaches a shallow stretch of water near the shore. Small boats are lowered carefully, and passengers begin to step aboard them, one by one. Each footstep is measured and deliberate, mindful of the new ground beneath them. As the boats glide toward the sandy beach, a sense of wonder spreads quietly among the passengers. Families hold hands tightly. Children's eyes widen at the sight of trees, rocks, and the soft curve of the coastline. Even the most reserved adults feel the gentle thrill of anticipation, a mixture of relief, gratitude, and awe. Emotional reflections. Standing on the shore, the pilgrims pause. Some kneel in silent prayer, others take a deep breath of the fresh, earthy air, marveling at the contrast to the salt and sway of the open sea. They look back toward the ocean, reflecting on the journey that brought them here, the long months, the challenges, the quiet camaraderie, and the patience that carried them through. The land, still largely untouched, offers promise. Forests sway gently in the breeze, and the faint rustle of wildlife echoes in the distance. It is both familiar and unknown, a place of beginnings, shaped by the same natural rhythms that guided them across the Atlantic. A moment of unity. The pilgrims gather in small clusters, sharing quiet words and gentle smiles. Families, friends, and strangers alike feel a connection forged by the voyage, a bond strengthened by shared experiences, hope, and resilience. For a brief moment, time seems suspended. The rhythmic sounds of the ocean mingle with the soft whisper of wind through the trees, creating a calm, reflective harmony. It is a moment of peace, gratitude, and quiet anticipation for the life that awaits beyond the shoreline. With the Mayflower safely anchored, the pilgrims begin to explore the shoreline. Footsteps press softly into the sand as families and individuals move cautiously, marveling at the textures and scents of the new land. Each step is filled with curiosity, a careful blend of excitement and reverence for this untouched place. The forest edges sway gently in the breeze, leaves rustling softly, and birds flit between the branches. Small animals scurry quietly, adding subtle life to the serene landscape. Every sight, sound, and scent is new, yet somehow comforting, a reminder of nature's gentle constancy, even in a strange land. Quiet discoveries. As they wander, the pilgrims take note of natural resources, fresh water, areas for shelter, trees for building, and soft patches of grass. They move with care, mindful of the fragile balance of this environment. Every shell, every pebble, every whisper of the wind is observed with a mixture of practicality and quiet wonder. Children laugh softly as they chase small birds or examine the sand, their voices gentle in the calm morning. Adults speak in hushed tones, sharing observations, planning for settlement, and appreciating the serenity that surrounds them. It is a slow, deliberate immersion into a world both familiar and entirely new. A sense of peace. In these first explorations, there is no rush. The pilgrims allow themselves to move gently, to breathe deeply, and to take in every detail. The land feels alive but patient, offering itself without demand, teaching the travelers how to listen, observe, and respect. The gentle sway of the ocean behind them, the soft rustle of the forest, and the faint calls of distant wildlife create a calming harmony. It is a moment of connection between the pilgrims, the land, and the enduring rhythms of the natural world. As the pilgrims step further into the land, they begin their first practical tasks. Some gather fallen branches for firewood, stacking them carefully to use later for warmth and cooking. Others examine stones and soil, imagining where small shelters might be built. Each action is deliberate, measured with care, and performed with a quiet sense of purpose. Even in these simple tasks, there is a rhythm: chopping wood, collecting water, and arranging small piles of supplies. The land itself seems to guide them, offering materials and hints for survival without urgency, as if welcoming them gently into its folds. Observing local wildlife while tending to basic needs, the pilgrims notice the subtle life around them. Small animals rustle through the underbrush, birds hop along the shoreline, and fish sometimes flicker in shallow waters near the sand. Children watch quietly, fascinated by these gentle movements, and adults nod with appreciation, learning the rhythms of this new environment. The forest whispers with every sway of the trees. The waves hum softly from the nearby shore, and the wind carries the delicate scents of earth, salt, and greenery. It is a quiet symphony that speaks of life continuing steadily, patiently, and resiliently. Connection and reflection. Each task, each observation, deepens the pilgrim's connection to the land. They begin to understand its pace, its needs, and its silent lessons. Conversations are hushed, laughter is soft, and moments of reflection are frequent. Standing on a mossy patch of ground or looking out toward the water, the travelers feel a profound sense of gratitude for their safe arrival, for the beauty and abundance around them, and for the courage that brought them here. In these gentle, quiet moments, the journey continues, not just across the ocean, but within themselves. As the sun begins to set, the shoreline glows with warm hues of gold and amber, reflecting softly on the gentle waves. The pilgrims gather near the edge of the water, pausing to take in the beauty and calm of their new surroundings. The gentle lapping of the waves against the shore mixes with the rustle of leaves in the nearby trees. There's a quiet hush over the group, a shared moment of appreciation for the safe passage and the promise of tomorrow. Each person feels the serenity of the evening, a peaceful transition from the journey at sea to life on land. Reflections and gratitude. Some kneel in silent prayer, expressing gratitude for the voyage that brought them here. Others sit quietly on smooth rocks or patches of grass, reflecting on the months spent aboard the Mayflower, the challenges faced, and the bonds formed. The journey across the Atlantic has left an indelible mark, shaping resilience, patience, and hope in every heart. Children play softly in the sand, their laughter muted by the calm of the evening, while adults exchange gentle smiles and quiet words. The simple act of being together in this new place carries a profound sense of unity and connection. Settling for the night. As the light fades, small fires are carefully lit for warmth and cooking. The scent of smoke mingles with the fresh sea air, adding a comforting note to the tranquil scene. Families gather close, preparing for their first night on solid ground. The land, patient and welcoming, embraces the travelers gently. The stars begin to twinkle above, reflecting the same sense of infinite possibility that carried them across the ocean. And as night settles in, a deep calm envelops the pilgrims, a quiet end to a day of firsts, a peaceful beginning to life in a new world. As darkness settles over the shoreline, the pilgrims experience their first night on solid ground. The ocean continues its gentle rhythm nearby, the waves whispering softly against the sand. The stars emerge one by one, scattered across the deep indigo sky, casting a serene glow over the quiet landscape. Families huddle close for warmth and comfort. The children, tired from the day's explorations, nestle near their parents, listening to the subtle sounds of the night, the rustle of leaves, the distant call of nocturnal birds, and the soft sigh of the wind. Even in this new environment, a sense of peace surrounds them. Quiet reflections. Adults take moments of private contemplation, gazing at the stars and reflecting on the journey that brought them here. They remember the months aboard the Mayflower, the gentle sway of the ocean, the long days of observation and patience, and the small joys shared with fellow travelers. In these quiet reflections, gratitude fills the hearts of the pilgrims. They are safe, together, and surrounded by the promise of a new beginning. The night encourages stillness and introspection, allowing each person to process the magnitude of their arrival and the adventure that lies ahead. A shared serenity, the campfires burn softly, illuminating faces with gentle warmth. Conversations are few and hushed, and laughter is rare but soft, blending harmoniously with the sounds of nature. The pilgrims share a quiet unity, understanding that, even in silence, their hearts and minds are connected through the shared journey. The night on land is calm, meditative, and filled with possibility. As they drift into sleep, the gentle rhythm of the waves, the whispers of the trees, and the stars above create a comforting lullaby, easing the travelers into rest and reflection. As dawn breaks, soft light spreads across the shoreline. The first rays of sun glimmer on the gentle waves, and the forest edges glow with a quiet warmth. The pilgrims wake slowly, taking in their new surroundings with calm curiosity and gentle wonder. The air is crisp and fresh, carrying the scent of salt water mingled with earthy forest aromas. Children stretch and gaze around in awe, while adults quietly step outside their small encampments, listening to the soft rustle of leaves and the distant calls of birds beginning their day. Gentle exploration. Small groups move cautiously across the shoreline, noticing the textures of sand, stones, and the gentle slope of the land. Each step is measured, a careful exploration of the world they now inhabit. The pilgrims observe shells, plants, and the occasional footprints of wildlife, noting details that might guide them in the days ahead. There is a quiet rhythm to their movements, a slow meditative awareness of the new environment. Conversations are soft, reflective, and filled with wonder at the abundance and beauty surrounding them. Reflection and connection. Families gather water from small streams and prepare modest fires for breakfast. Even in these simple tasks, there is a sense of purpose and calm. The land provides quietly, and the pilgrims respond with gratitude and patience, standing together, gazing toward the horizon where ocean meets land. The travelers feel the depth of their journey, the months at sea, the patience required, and the resilience built along the way all culminate in this gentle morning, a beginning of new routines, new discoveries, and a quiet connection with the world around them. With the morning light strengthening, the pilgrims begin to venture slightly further from the shore. Footsteps press softly into the mossy ground as small groups move carefully among trees and rocks, observing the subtle details of this new land. The forest hums quietly with life. Birds flit between branches, small animals rustle in the undergrowth, and sunlight filters through the canopy, creating dappled patterns on the forest floor. Every sound and movement is noted with gentle curiosity, a quiet study of the environment they now inhabit. Discovering flora and fauna, passengers pause to examine plants, leaves, and fruits they do not recognize. They speak softly about the potential uses for food, medicine, or building materials, always mindful of their surroundings. The children follow with wide-eyed wonder, asking gentle questions and learning from the adults' observations. Even in these small discoveries, there is a rhythm, a slow, meditative pace that allows the travelers to absorb the beauty and complexity of their new world. Each step, each observation, strengthens their connection to the land and deepens their understanding of this place that will soon become home. Quiet contemplation. As the day unfolds, the pilgrims pause frequently, standing in silence to observe the subtle interplay of wind, sunlight, and shadow. The land feels alive yet patient, offering its lessons quietly. There is a shared sense of gratitude for their safe arrival and a gentle anticipation for the tasks and discoveries that lie ahead. The ocean hums in the distance, a steady companion reminding them of the journey that brought them here, while the forest provides a calming, grounding presence. Together, these elements create a quiet symphony of nature, inviting reflection, calm, and connection. As the pilgrims spend more time on land, attention turns to creating small temporary shelters. Using fallen branches, leaves, and other natural materials, they begin carefully constructing spaces to protect themselves from the elements. Every movement is deliberate, measured with patience and care. Families work together, sharing tasks quietly. Adults demonstrate techniques to children, showing how to weave branches and cover them with leaves for warmth and protection. Even in these small efforts, there is a rhythm, a meditative pace that reflects the balance between necessity and reverence for the natural world. Building as a community, neighbors lend gentle assistance, offering tools, advice, or an extra hand when needed. Conversations are hushed, filled with encouragement and appreciation. The pilgrims' cooperation strengthens their sense of unity, creating not just shelters, but bonds of trust and shared purpose. The soft sounds of branches being arranged, leaves rustling, and distant waves lapping against the shore form a soothing backdrop. In this quiet labor, there is a calm sense of accomplishment, a subtle triumph over the unknown challenges of life in a new world. Reflection amidst work. Even as they toil, the travelers pause frequently to observe the surrounding landscape. The forest, ocean, and sky offer moments of stillness and beauty. Children watch small animals, birds, and the play of sunlight on leaves, learning patience and awareness in tandem with their parents. The Mayflower's journey across the sea has ended, but the voyage of adaptation and discovery continues here on land. Every branch laid, every shelter formed, carries the quiet satisfaction of progress and the promise of safety and comfort in a new home. After the morning's quiet labor, the pilgrims gather near their newly built shelters to share simple meals. Fires crackle softly, warming the cool morning air, and the smell of cooked grains and modest provisions fills the surroundings. Families sit together, quietly sharing food and gentle conversation. Children eat with curiosity, asking questions about the land, the forest, and the ocean, while adults respond in calm, measured tones, blending stories of the journey with observations of their new environment. Moments of rest. After eating, small moments of rest allow everyone to absorb the day's experiences. Some sit quietly on smooth rocks, gazing at the gentle sway of the nearby waves. Others lie in the soft grass, listening to the rustle of leaves and the distant calls of seabirds. Even in these pauses, there is a meditative rhythm. The gentle sounds of nature remind the pilgrims of the patience and resilience that carried them across the ocean. Each person reflects quietly, savoring the sense of safety and the promise of new beginnings. Connection to the land. As they rest, the travelers grow more attuned to the land around them. Fingers trace the texture of leaves and sand, eyes follow the movement of wildlife, and ears catch the soft symphony of the forest and sea. These quiet observations deepen their understanding and appreciation of the new world they now inhabit. The day continues with gentle pace, each small action, eating, resting, observing, strengthening the sense of calm, unity, and gratitude among the pilgrims. After a brief rest, the pilgrims begin to explore a little deeper into the forest. Each step is careful, mindful of the uneven terrain and the quiet life that surrounds them. Moss-covered stones, soft earth underfoot, and the subtle rustle of leaves mark the gentle rhythm of their progress. Small groups move together, whispering observations and discoveries. Every plant, every tree, and every animal track sparks curiosity. Children follow closely, learning the names of familiar shapes and sounds, while adults take note of resources that might support their daily needs and future settlement. Discovering wildlife. The forest hums quietly with activity. Birds flit through the branches, insects move among the leaves, and small mammals scurry along the underbrush. Occasionally, a deer or other shy creature is glimpsed in the distance, pausing briefly before disappearing into the trees. The pilgrims move slowly, allowing nature to reveal itself gently. There is no rush, only a calm observation and appreciation for the delicate balance of life around them. Each encounter with wildlife becomes a quiet lesson in patience, awareness, and respect for this untouched land. Connection and contemplation. As they walk, passengers pause frequently, taking in the interplay of sunlight filtering through the trees, the distant sound of the ocean, and the whispering wind. These moments of stillness provide space for reflection on their journey across the sea, the months spent aboard the Mayflower, and the new life beginning before them. The land offers both shelter and solace. Every step, every observation strengthens the sense of connection between the travelers, the environment, and the enduring rhythms of the natural world. After their quiet explorations, the pilgrims begin the careful task of gathering food. They move along the shoreline and forest edges, observing plants, berries, and other natural resources with thoughtful attention. Each step is deliberate, each choice made with care, balancing curiosity with caution. Adults examine edible plants, pointing out textures, colors, and scents, while children watch and learn. Simple fruits, herbs, and shells near the water become part of their first lessons in survival and adaptation. Every finding brings a subtle sense of accomplishment, a quiet reassurance that the land can provide for them. Learning from nature, as they collect, the travelers note patterns in the environment, which plants grow near water, which trees bear fruit, and where small animals make their homes. Each observation is a gentle study of the natural world, helping the pilgrims understand the rhythms and resources of their new surroundings. The soundscape is calm. Waves lap softly against the shore, leaves rustle in the breeze, and distant birds call intermittently. Every sense is engaged, fostering a mindful connection to the land and the life it supports. Reflection and gratitude. After gathering, the pilgrims pause to admire their surroundings. Fingers brush the leaves, eyes follow the paths of small creatures, and hearts quietly reflect on the journey that led them here. Gratitude fills the group for safe arrival, for the land's generosity, and for the shared moments of learning and discovery. These gentle tasks, performed with care and attention, are more than survival. They are a meditation in movement, a way of harmonizing with the land while quietly celebrating the possibilities that lie ahead. Along the gentle shoreline, the pilgrims begin their first attempts at fishing. Small groups gather quietly by the water, using simple tools and careful hands to test the abundance of the sea. Each cast of a line, each careful scoop of a net is performed with patience and calm focus. The water glistens softly in the morning light, and occasional ripples hint at the life beneath the surface. Children watch eagerly, learning from adults as they demonstrate techniques and explain the delicate balance between patience and reward. Every small success is quietly celebrated, a gentle reinforcement of skill and observation. Observing coastal life. As they fish, the travelers notice the rhythm of coastal life. Crabs scuttle along the sand, small fish dart near the shallows, and shells and seaweed create patterns on the beach. Each discovery invites reflection, a meditation on the intricate connections between water, land, and life. The pilgrims move slowly, mindful of the fragile ecosystem around them. Conversations are soft, filled with awe and curiosity, blending seamlessly with the sound of waves and the whisper of wind through nearby trees. Quiet contemplation. After the first attempts at fishing, passengers pause to observe the water and reflect on the day's progress. The ocean continues its gentle rhythm, a companion in both movement and stillness. The shoreline, alive with subtle activity, offers both sustenance and serenity. In these quiet moments, the pilgrims feel a deep connection to their environment, a calm harmony that echoes the patience, gratitude, and hope that carried them across the Atlantic to this new beginning. After morning explorations and gathering, the pilgrims begin quiet tasks to craft simple tools and prepare for daily life. Using stones, wood, and other natural materials, they carefully shape items for cooking, building, and small tasks around their temporary shelters. Each movement is deliberate, a meditation in focus and patience. Adults demonstrate techniques to younger travelers, showing how to carve, smooth, or bind materials with gentle care. Every small tool created is a symbol of preparation, resilience, and the quiet ingenuity that sustains them in this new world. Collaborative effort. Neighbors offer soft words of advice, hands join to assist in tricky tasks, and laughter occasionally punctuates the quiet work. Though the labor is simple, it strengthens the sense of community, a reminder that cooperation and shared effort are the foundations of life on this new land. Even in silence, the rhythm of work is soothing. The gentle scrape of stone on wood, the whisper of leaves, and the distant lapping of waves create a meditative harmony that echoes the calm persistence of the travelers themselves. Reflection amidst work. As tools take shape, passengers pause to observe their surroundings, the sway of trees, the shimmer of sunlight on the ocean, and the subtle movements of wildlife nearby. Each quiet reflection deepens the connection to their environment, reminding them that patience, observation, and respect are essential companions in this new beginning. The day unfolds slowly, filled with gentle tasks and quiet achievements, as the pilgrims continue to adapt, discover, and harmonize with the world around them. As the day winds down, the pilgrims gather near their shelters and along the shoreline. Fires crackle softly, casting warm, flickering light across faces filled with quiet contentment. Families and neighbors come together, sharing gentle conversation and the comforting presence of one another. Stories of the journey are told in soft voices, memories of the Mayflower, the months at sea, and the challenges they overcame. Children listen intently, eyes wide with curiosity, while adults exchange quiet smiles and reflections. Each tale reinforces a sense of shared experience, connection, and calm pride in their perseverance. Quiet reflection. Some passengers take solitary moments along the shoreline, watching the gentle sway of the waves, the reflection of the setting sun, and the twinkle of the first evening stars. Thoughts drift quietly between past and future, the voyage behind them, the land ahead, and the gentle rhythm of life in between. The ocean hums softly in the background, blending with the rustle of leaves and the distant calls of birds settling for the night. Every sound, every movement, carries a sense of patience and mindfulness, grounding the pilgrims in the present moment. A sense of calm and connection. In these early evening hours there is a profound serenity. Fires warm the travelers, while the natural world soothes their spirits. Shared stories, quiet reflections, and the soft symphony of nature create a meditative atmosphere, a reminder that even after months of ocean travel, calm, connection, and gratitude are constant companions. As darkness settles over the shoreline, the pilgrims prepare for their first peaceful night on land. Fires burn softly, providing warmth and a comforting glow. Families settle into their small shelters or simple bedding near the shoreline, while children snuggle close to their parents, feeling safe and calm. The wind moves gently through the trees, carrying the scent of salt water and fresh earth. Every sound, the whisper of leaves, the distant lap of waves, the call of night birds, blends into a serene symphony, welcoming rest and quiet contemplation. Reflections under the stars. Many adults take a few moments to gaze upward, observing the stars scattered across the night sky. They reflect on the journey that brought them here, the months at sea, the patience it required, and the shared experience that strengthened bonds among them. Children, drowsy and calm, listen to soft stories or lie quietly, sensing the peaceful rhythm of the land and ocean around them. The night becomes a gentle teacher, offering stillness, reflection, and gratitude for both journey and arrival. A shared serenity. The pilgrims, though weary, feel a deep sense of unity and calm. Conversations are hushed, laughter rare but gentle, and quiet smiles pass between neighbors and friends. The land, patient and welcoming, provides a sense of security, while the gentle rhythm of waves and the whispers of the forest lull the travelers toward rest. As dawn breaks over the shoreline, soft light spills across the land, illuminating trees, sand, and the gentle ripple of waves. The pilgrims awaken slowly, stretching and breathing in the crisp, fresh air of their new surroundings. Children peer curiously from their simple shelters, while adults step quietly outside, listening to the early calls of birds and the rustling of leaves. There is a calm rhythm to this first morning, a gentle transition from the trials of the sea to the quiet routine of life on land. Observing the land, small groups move gently along the shoreline and forest edge, noticing subtle details, the texture of moss on rocks, patterns the sand, and the occasional animal tracks. Each observation is quiet and deliberate, a meditative engagement with the world around them. The pilgrims speak softly, sharing insights about resources, shelter locations, and edible plants. Children learn through observation, absorbing lessons of patience, care, and harmony with the natural world. Daily routines begin. As morning progresses, simple routines emerge. Fires are prepared for breakfast, small tasks are undertaken to gather water and prepare tools, and passengers move with measured care. Even in these modest actions, there is a sense of calm, purpose, and connection to both the land and one another. The first morning sets a gentle tone for life ahead, a slow, observant, and mindful start to each day in this new world. With the morning light growing stronger, the pilgrims venture further along the shoreline and into the nearby forest. Every step is quiet and deliberate, allowing them to notice the delicate details of this new world, the patterns of leaves, the texture of tree bark, and the movement of small creatures among the underbrush. The children walk close to adults, learning to observe patiently and with care. Birds flit through the trees, squirrels rustle in the branches, and sunlight filters softly through the canopy, creating shifting patterns on the forest floor. Each moment becomes a gentle meditation, connecting the travelers with the rhythm of nature. Observing wildlife and nature, the pilgrims notice tracks of deer and small animals, the shapes of seashells along the water, and clusters of berries or edible plants. Conversations are soft, filled with curiosity and reflection. Each discovery, no matter how small, is acknowledged with quiet appreciation. The combination of forest, shoreline, and ocean provides a calm, immersive environment. The pilgrims learn to move harmoniously within it, understanding that patience, observation, and gentle care are essential to life in this new land. Reflection on the day. As they continue exploring, passengers pause frequently, taking in the interplay of sunlight, shadows, and the gentle sounds of wind, waves, and wildlife. These quiet moments allow them to reflect on the journey that brought them here and the life that is beginning to unfold around them. The natural world, patient and resilient, becomes both teacher and companion, guiding the travelers toward calm awareness and deep appreciation of their surroundings. With familiarity growing, the pilgrims begin quiet efforts to prepare small areas of land for future planting. Using simple tools and careful hands, they clear soft soil, observe sunlight patterns, and select gentle patches near water and open spaces. Children watch attentively, learning how to dig softly, plant seeds, and respect the earth. Adults work patiently, sharing knowledge and techniques while moving slowly, attuned to the rhythm of the land. Each action is deliberate, fostering a sense of mindfulness and connection, observation and learning. While preparing the soil, passengers notice details in the plants and environment, the texture of leaves, the direction of sunlight, and the growth patterns of nearby vegetation. Every small observation informs their understanding of the land, teaching patience, care, and respect for nature's cycles. Soft conversations ripple through the groups, gentle guidance mixing with hushed laughter. Even in this quiet labor, the pilgrims find calm, satisfaction, and a growing sense of confidence in their ability to adapt to life on land. Connection to the land. Each planted seed or small patch of cleared earth symbolizes more than food. It represents hope, resilience, and the gradual transformation of the new world into a home. The rhythm of gentle labor, observation, and reflection strengthens their bond with the land, the environment, and each other. The ocean hums softly in the distance, trees whisper in the breeze, and wildlife continues its quiet presence. Every sound, every movement is part of a meditative symphony that underscores the calm perseverance of life beginning anew. As the sun climbs higher, the pilgrims settle into quiet afternoon routines. Small fires crackle gently near their shelters, warming the air and providing a place to prepare simple meals. Families move with calm purpose, tending to these modest tasks with care and attention. Children play softly nearby, exploring the shoreline or examining small plants and stones. Their laughter is gentle, blending harmoniously with the natural symphony of waves, wind, and rustling leaves. Adults move slowly, observing both their surroundings and the joyful curiosity of the young ones. Rest and reflection. Some passengers pause to rest in the shade of trees or on smooth rocks along the shore, eyes closed briefly, breathing in the fresh air, listening to the subtle rhythms of nature around them, the ocean's gentle waves, the whispering wind, and the distant calls of birds. These quiet moments offer space for reflection on the journey that brought them here, the challenges they overcame, and the life they are now beginning. Every breath, every glance, every small movement becomes part of a meditative awareness of the present. Connection with nature. As they tend to fires, rest, and observe, the pilgrims deepen their connection with the land and sea. They learn to move in harmony with the environment, appreciating its subtle patterns, gentle rhythms, and quiet lessons. The afternoon passes slowly, a serene bridge between work and evening, filled with gratitude, patience, and quiet contemplation, a gentle continuation of life unfolding in a new world. As the sun begins to dip toward the horizon, soft golden light spills across the shoreline and forest edges. The pilgrims gather near their shelters and small fires, watching the gentle reflection of sunlight on the water. The day's work is complete, and a sense of calm fills the air. Children sit quietly with parents, listening to stories or observing the subtle shifts in nature around them, the way shadows lengthen, leaves rustle in the evening breeze, and the waves continue their steady rhythm. Storytelling and reflection. Fires flicker warmly, casting dancing light on faces filled with contentment. Passengers share memories of the journey across the Atlantic, quiet anecdotes, and reflections on the challenges and small joys of life at sea and now on land. Laughter is soft and rare, blending harmoniously with the gentle sounds of nature. The stories reinforce a sense of connection, unity, and calm pride in their perseverance and resilience. A gentle transition tonight. As the light fades, the pilgrims prepare for rest. Shelters are adjusted, fires burn low, and the sounds of the land and sea carry a soothing, meditative presence. The wind whispers through trees, the ocean laps gently against the shore, and the forest grows quiet under the approaching night sky. In this serene evening, the travelers feel both gratitude and anticipation, a quiet bridge between the day's experiences and the promise of tomorrow in their new world. As darkness envelops the land, the pilgrims settle quietly for their first night fully immersed in the new world. Fires glow softly, offering warmth and comfort, while the gentle sound of waves and wind creates a serene backdrop for reflection. Families gather closely, children resting near parents, and adults taking a few moments to observe the night sky. Stars scatter across the dark expanse above, twinkling like a reminder of journeys past and the possibilities ahead. Quiet contemplation. Many adults gaze upward, reflecting on the long voyage across the Atlantic, the patience and resilience it required, and the promise that this new land holds. Thoughts drift between the hardships of the past and the opportunities that lie in the days to come. Children listen softly to whispered stories or the subtle sounds of nature, learning patience and the rhythm of calm observation. Even in silence, there is connection, a shared sense of gratitude, hope, and unity among the travelers. A sense of peace. The land, patient and welcoming, provides a gentle lullaby. The rustle of leaves, the distant calls of night creatures, and the steady rhythm of the waves create a meditative atmosphere. The pilgrims drift into rest with hearts full of calm reflection, ready to greet the next day with mindfulness, curiosity, and quiet anticipation. The sun rises softly over the shoreline, bathing the land in gentle light. The pilgrims awaken slowly, refreshed from their first nights on land. The air is crisp, carrying the faint scent of salt water and earth, and the forest hums quietly with the beginnings of a new day. Children stretch and peek from their shelters, while adults step outside to observe the surroundings. There is a quiet energy, a calm awareness of the rhythms of this new environment, and a readiness to continue adapting and exploring. Gentle morning routines. Small fires are prepared for breakfast, water is collected from nearby streams, and simple tools are tended to with care. Every movement is deliberate, blending practicality with mindfulness. The pilgrims move slowly, appreciating both the work and the serenity of the morning. Exploring the land. Groups venture once more into the forest and along the shoreline, observing wildlife, plants, and the gentle changes in terrain. Birds call softly, small animals rustle in the underbrush, and sunlight filters through the trees, creating patterns on the ground. Each step is taken with care and attention, fostering a deepening connection with the land and its quiet lessons. The rhythm of morning life is calm, reflective, and meditative, a gentle preparation for the day ahead. As the morning unfolds, the pilgrims engage in quiet tasks along the shoreline and forest edge. Some gather food, berries, herbs, and other natural resources with careful attention, while others tend small fires or organize tools for daily life. Children move gently alongside adults, learning the rhythms of observation and care. The sounds of nature, rustling leaves, soft waves, and distant bird calls accompany every action, creating a serene and meditative atmosphere. Observing wildlife while completing their tasks, the travelers notice subtle movements in the forest and along the shore. Birds flit through the trees, small mammals scurry quietly, and the glimmer of fish can be seen in shallow waters. Each observation is met with soft curiosity, fostering patience, awareness, and respect for the natural world. Connection and reflection. The pilgrims pause frequently, breathing in the fresh air and absorbing the calm of the surroundings. Each small action, gathering, tending, observing, becomes part of a mindful routine, deepening their connection with the land and reinforcing a sense of gratitude for the safe arrival and the quiet beauty of their new home. As the morning drifts into afternoon, a gentle stillness settles over the shoreline and forest. The pilgrims move slowly, tending to simple tasks, observing the land and reflecting on the days that have passed. Each step and gesture is deliberate, blending practicality with mindfulness. Gratitude and reflection. Passengers pause to breathe deeply, taking in the soft scent of salt water, the rustle of leaves, and the gentle rhythm of the waves. Thoughts turn quietly to the journey that brought them here, the challenges faced, and the courage and patience that carried them across the Atlantic. Gratitude fills hearts for safe arrival, new beginnings, and the calm beauty of the land. Meditative connection. The ocean hums softly. The wind whispers through the trees, and wildlife continues its subtle movements nearby. In these quiet moments, the pilgrims feel a deep harmony with the world around them, a gentle connection between past and present, land and sea, and between each other. Time seems to stretch softly, allowing calm reflection and mindful presence. The journey may have ended at sea, but the voyage of discovery, adaptation, and serenity continues here on land, carried forward in patience, observation, and quiet appreciation. As our quiet voyage comes to a gentle close, take a moment to breathe deeply and absorb the serenity of this new land. The pilgrim's journey across the vast ocean reminds us of patience, courage, and the quiet strength found in embracing the unknown. Here, on the shores they first touched, the rhythm of waves, the whispers of the trees, and the gentle presence of wildlife remind us to slow down, observe, and appreciate the calm beauty of the world around us. Carry this sense of peace with you as the day continues, a quiet reflection on journey, gratitude, and connection, both with nature and within yourself. Let the harmony of land, sea, and sky linger softly in your mind and heart. Encouragement to subscribe. If you enjoyed this serene journey, please consider subscribing to our channel for more peaceful voyages through history and nature. Don't forget to like this video to show your support. It helps us bring you even more calming stories. Thank you for joining this tranquil voyage across time and tide. May your moments ahead be filled with calm, wonder, and mindful presence.